The other big focus for us as we started the year was the revitalization of our 5-year contract. I think a lot of the emphasis that we're focusing on is to kind of rebuild the foundation at MX in order to have greater liquidity and more movement across the curve. You need to have very viable pivot points along the curve, and we felt that we had some shortcomings in the 5 years, so we basically put out an RFP to some market makers who have agreed to come step in. RBC and Desjardins have stepped in and played a big role in helping us sort of reinvigorate that. Obviously, I'd love to say that things have exploded, but it's a slow grind higher. And we're going to have to take a hard look at this in terms of are there structural issues with those with that contract that is preventing it to kind of grow above and beyond where it's currently at. We basically decided to put some market structure changes through the regulatory apparatus. And auctions is essentially one of those. So if I give you an example with regards to our long bond contract, there's an old acronym in the OTC space that says, long bonds trade by appointment. So what we're going to look at doing is essentially fixing appointments of points of liquidity throughout the course of the day, where participants will have an opportunity to come in and be on the bid or on the offer. So whether it be provincial borrowers who are issuing in the long end that needs to sort of hedge out some risk in terms of rate locking, or whether it be LDI and insurance companies who need to be buying duration, that will offer some opportunities. So a lot of emphasis was put on that. That should see the light of day in the second half of the year. And our market maker reform. In terms of participants in Canada, there are a number of domestic hedge funds that would love to be able to play a role in terms of market making in some of our markets. In terms of them having the ability to do so was curtailed by our rules, our own rules. So we've put market maker reform in front of the regulatory apparatus, and we should be getting some answers in the coming weeks. And again, very hopeful that will help our CGF and a number of other points on the curve to sort of help make our markets a little bit more dynamic. I would say in terms of the biggest emphasis that we are putting a lot of time and energy on, and it's a very, very big lift for our firm, is extended hours. And when I talk about extended hours, we did have our first go at extended hours from 4 to 4:30 earlier this year, but the big lift is to basically align our open with London trading. And I think that, Lou Eccleston, my partner who runs the TMX group, will basically say, we have a Canadian address, but our addressable market is global. And the world is looking to trade more and more Canada, and the fact that we're only open during our own time zone, is a bit prohibitive for some of the international clients. I mean, we got to walk before we run, so we'll start with London Open, and then with regards to looking at Asia, that would probably be beyond 2018. And in order to do that with boots on the ground and having offices in Asia, that's a lot more of a heavy lift. I think we'd probably be more open to collaboration with other exchanges in terms of listing their products and having us list on their exchange. So cross collaboration is probably one of the good ways for us to go if we do plan on doing that. We are embarking on a clearing system consolidation, which I think we've made no secret. That is an outside acquisition in terms of the service provider. Contracts are getting finalized, so I can't give you the details as to who that is, but it's in the works. And from a trading system consolidation, that's something that we're also going to look at sort of rejuvenating. And for the time being, we're trying to put together a proof of concept to see what the whole technological scheme could look like, building something from within. We're trying to find the best of both worlds, and I think we might have come up with something quite interesting. So the proof of concept is scheduled to be delivered in, I'm going to say, 3 to 4 weeks, and from there we'll be able to test the viability as to whether we go it on our own or do we go out and actually buy something from someone else. So.